Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, welcome back to today's Daf Yomi, Rosh HaShanna Lamed Gimel. We begin right on top of the Amid. We learned in the Mishnah that one may not engage in any form of malacha to enable tkiyas shofar. Ve'ein choytchen oisai, you're not meant to trim the shofar bein bedover, shehu mishum shvus, whether in a manner which involves only issa d'Rabbanan, shvus, ubein bedover shehu mishum loisasei, or in a manner which involves a loisasei min haTorah. What are examples of either one? Mishum shvus, what is an example of trimming in a manner which entails a issa d'Rabbanan? Magla, he uses a sickle, not your typical trimming tool. Rashi says it's called tikun kalachar yad. It's only issa d'Rabbanan. What's an example of trimming by way of a loisasei? Sakina, using a proper tool, a knife, which is used in this manner. Either way, you shouldn't do it. And the reason was because although shofar is a mitzvah saseh, but Yom Tov has both mitzvah saseh and lo saseh, and shofar can't override the double package of aseh and lo saseh. And even if it's only the Rabbanon, the Yisur Rabbanon assume a similar status to the Torah, were mesukin, they were mesakin ke'ein deirais, and therefore just as you don't override the Yisur Torah, you don't override the Yisur Rabbanon. Asks the Gemara, why cite both examples, the Rabbanan and then Deiraisa? Isn't it obvious? Hashta mishum shvus amar slay. If you tell me that you can't override Issa Rabbanan, lo yisasem iboy, do you need to tell me that you can't push away a Deiraisa? Well, if you can't push away the Rabbanan, of course, not a Deiraisa. You're right. It's just a manner of speaking. First we say zu, don't do an Issa Rabbanan, and of course, not an Issa Deiraisa. Just a way of speaking for emphasis. So you can't do it Issa d'Rabbanan and certainly not a Deiraisa. That's if it involves a real malacha. But if he's just cleaning out the shofar to clear up the sound, that's okay. If he chooses to rinse it out with some water or wine, that's okay. Only these materials. Meiraglaim urine loy, of course not. Masnisin mani abashol, he following this shita, the sani abashol aimer. Maim ayayin mutter, you can use water or wine to clean up the shofar. Meiraglaim osur, it's disrespectful, pnei covered. Mishnah says, ein ma'akvenas atenoikis l'tkoya. Although blowing a shofar on Shabbos or Yom Tov is not something to be done, although it's not a malacha, but we actually learned at the beginning of the parak that it's a chachma v'lei malacha. It's not a malacha, but it's a talent. It's a chachma which resembles malacha, and therefore the chachamim don't allow just blowing a shofar for no reason, except for the sake of mitzvah on Rosh HaShanna. Therefore, says the mitzvah, the Mishnah, ein ma'akvenes atenokus l'tkai. We don't hold back children. They choose to blow a shofar on Rosh HaShanna. Ha noshem ma'akven. Apparently, if an adult isha, gets up and blows a shofar on Rosh HaShanna, we stop her. Why? Because she's pater from the mitzvah saseh, shazan man groma, and the way Rashi puts it is a concern of Bal Tosef. She's not really supposed to be doing this. It's Bal Tosef. We're going to see soon in Rashi. In any case, only children we allow, boys, but not women, not grown women. V'atanya. We have a brayso which says, "Ein ma'akven lo yisa noshim, lo yisa tinokis l'tkoya." We don't hold back women or young boys from blowing the shofar. So apparently, women can go ahead and engage in tkiyas shofar on Rosh HaShanna, although they're not really chayiv to do so. Ein ma'akven lo yisa noshim, lo yisa tinokis l'tkoya b'yom tov. So which way is it? Yes or no? Amar Abaye, it's a machlekes tanoim. An isha is pata from a time-related mitzvah, such as tkiyas shofar. Can she choose to submit to that mitzvah, to apply that mitzvah to herself voluntarily? Is that an option? Machlekes tanoim. Like kasha, ha Rabbi Yehuda, v'ha Rabbi Yossi. Our mission is following Rabbi Yehuda. If an isha is pata, she can't do it. If it involves something inappropriate or an isser, such as blowing the shofar on Rosh HaShanna. Whereas Rabbi Yossi says, true, she's not chayiv, but Hashem gives her the option of doing it. She chooses to blow, go ahead. So loikashi ha Rabbi Yehuda, ha Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Shimon, the Sanya. We find this concept in a different setting. Daber al Bnei Yisrael. Pasuk speaks about bringing a carbon. Speak to Bnei Yisrael, and the drasha is there is one element of akravas a carbon, smicha, leaning on the animal, which only applies to males, not females. Bnei Yisrael soimchen, vein Bnei Yisrael soimchos. Divid Rabbi Yehuda. So according to him, since an isha is pater, she cannot do smicha because leaning on an animal, which is a carbon, is asur. You can't lean on a carbon, use a carbon for personal benefit, and therefore says Rabbi Yehuda, if she's pater from smicha, she may not do it even if she chooses to do smicha. However, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon, Oimrim, Noshem Soimches Rishus. True, it's not obligatory, it's not a chiv, but she could opt to do smicha. Even if she's not chayiv, she can submit herself to the chiv, to the mitzvah, and do smicha, and it's not considered an isser of avodah b'kachim. She's accomplishing smicha. Likewise, in our case, even though the Torah exempts Noshem from shofar, but at the end of the day, if she chooses to blow, she's being mekayim a mitzvah, and therefore there's no concern with an isha blowing on Rosh HaShanna. Let's take a look at Rashi, 4 lines from the top. So the Mishnah says, Tinoikis, we allow. Tinoikis who delay ma'akven, the boy lechinachai, because we have to be mechanach them to the mitzvah tkiyas shofar, so we allow them to blow. Hanasha ma'akven, the pturis legam, the mitzvah seishes man gromu, v'chitaki ikabal toisif. Oh, since they're pata, don't even let them blow. They're adding an unnecessary mitzvah. It's Baal Tosef. The Maharsha has a hard time with Rashi's lashon. He says, what kind of Baal Tosef is it? It's not expanding a mitzvah. It's not adding another min to the lulav. Somebody who's pata decides to do the mitzvah. Why is that Baal Tosef? And actually, I noticed on the side, they bring the Rashi in Chagiga, who has a little bit of a different lashon. He says, Nira is k'moisif. It looks like they're being moisif. So he doesn't literally learn that it's about Tosef Daraisa, but since really blowing a shofar on Yom Tov is not something you're meant to do, it's a talent which is asur midrabanan. So when Isha goes and does it, it looks like she's moisif ala mitzvah. The Maharsha actually learns perhaps the problem is because of that alone. You're not meant to blow a shofar unless it's in a mitzvah context, and since she's not chayiv, she shouldn't be blowing a shofar, which is generally asur to do midrabanan or Shabbos or Yom Tov. So that's how he learns the Gemara. So once again, the Isha, since she's pater, and she can't generate a chiv onto herself when it is something that she's pater, we're following this sheet of Rabbi Yehuda, she can't create a new chiv. Therefore, she shouldn't be doing things which are asa in a non-mitzvah setting. Just as like by smicha, she shouldn't be leaning on an animal, which happens to be a carbon, if she's not being yotzei mitzvah. Daber b'nei Yisrael. We learn Bnei Yisrael samchan. Daven Yisrael v'martalim. Adam k'yakim meken. Uksibahu inyan v'samach yadai. Oh, Rashi learns that the pasuk is leading into the next inyan, which speaks about smicha. So we learn from there only Bnei Yisrael do smicha, but not Noshim. And that's absolute. She's pater, she can't do it. Otherwise, she's doing an isra of avodah b'kachim. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon disagree. They say Noshim samchas rishos. Alma afagav de patrinu kra. Even though they're not chayiv, like Isser, there's no Isser. You're not working the animal. You're not leaning on the animal for personal gain. You're doing a mitzvah. So although you're not chayiv, it's considered a mitzvah. The mitzvah says zman grama. The Gemara applies this concept to our case of shofar, which is a time-related mitzvah, from which nashim are generally pater. In this case, she decides she'll be mekayim that mitzvah. She's volunteering for the mitzvah. She can do it. Taisus brings Rabbi Tam that indeed that's how we paskin, like Shitas Rabbi Yossi. Anisha has the option of submitting herself to a mitzvah to say shazman groma, be it lulav, shofar, sukkah, and therefore can even make a mitzvah, a bracha on that mitzvah. Indeed, that's how we paskin today. Noshim do all kinds of mitzvahs with brachas as well. Continues the Gemara. So we spoke about the katanim. We're not me'akev, we don't hold them back from blowing. Aval mis askin bahem achi yilmudu. Rather, we engage with them until they learn the trick of the trade. till they get proficient in blowing. This applies even on Shabbos. Even though we don't blow shofar on Shabbos, but the kids can blow. We learned the same in a brayso. We encourage them. We engage in them in their training, so that they become proficient, even if it's Shabbos. Apparently, even though we don't do it, that might carry through the street, but technically, Torah blow a shofar even on Shabbos. Even Rosh HaShanna falls out on Shabbos. So when it's kids, we don't hold them back. The Gemara soon will tell us we actually encourage them because we want them to become nescharech, to become experts. It's part of mitzvah chinuch. And since technically blowing a shofar on Rosh HaShanna is mutter even on Shabbos, the gzera d'Rabbanan that applies to adults doesn't really apply to kids. We allow them to blow. So again, the brayso says, "Misasken behen achi yilmdu afilu b'Shabbos." We encourage it. And we don't hold them back from blowing b'Shabbos, and certainly we don't hold them back. Now this is a problematic lashon habrayso. Hoguf kasha. Take a close look at the lashon. It's inherently difficult to understand. It's a stira minei ubei. First you say amris misasken menach yilmedu. Encourage them to learn. Afilu b'Shabbos. Am lechatchila avdinan. Amrinan tiku. Apparently. We encourage them. Go ahead and blow. Let's hear. And then the brayso says, we don't hold them back. We stand on the side. We don't prevent them. But to go tell them blow, we don't do that either. So which way is it? Do we encourage? Or do we just not hold back? Do we just not stop them? Depends what age. Like kash. The answer is, the child is old enough to get trained. Some say it's like 9 years old. At that point, not only do we allow, we encourage, we engage them in blowing. We want them to learn the tricks of the trade. They're meant to train themselves to know how to blow, to be mekayim the mitzvah. The other portion of the brayso, which says we just don't stop them, that's by a young kid, pre-chinuch stage. There's no real point in training him. So we don't encourage, there's no point. But we don't stop him because technically, like we explained, it's really not awesome, not Torah. The gzera d'Rabbanan, he might carry it through the street. But if a kid's doing it, we don't view it like a real isser, we just allow him to do it. Now, the Mishnah concluded with the following statement. Two parts of the statement. Misasek lo yotze. Misasek means he's pre-engaged in another activity, he's preoccupied, and happens to blow a shofar in that mindset, he's not yotze. And likewise, if one listens into this fellow who's just absent-mindedly blowing that shofar, is not yotze. So if he's preoccupied while blowing, he's not yotze. The Gemara figures, what's your classic example of a misasek? He's not even trying to get that blowout. He's just playing around. He's testing the shofar. He's not even engaged in the physical aspect of blowing that shofar. You see, there's two parts of the masa. The gashmius aspect, the physical aspect. Pick up that shofar and try to blow a proper tekiah. Then there's the spiritual, the ruchni aspect. L'shem mitzvah. Two separate elements to the masa. Typically, misasek means he's not even engaged in the physical aspect. He's just picking it up to test it. A quick blow, a quick. He's not trying to even get that tekiah out. And therefore he's not yotze. Apparently, says the Gemara. Ha tekiah l'shir yotze. Suppose he was purposely blowing that shofar for sheer purposes, using it as an instrument, without kavanah l'shem mitzvah. That's okay. As long as he's not misasek, he's not preoccupied with another activity. Meaning, if he's mindful of the physical aspect of what he's doing, that's sufficient even without the kavanah lotzes. Lema Messiah l'Rava. This seems to be a right to Rava's shita. The Amar Rava hatekeh l'shir yotze. Indeed, if he blows l'shir, he's yotze because, as you remember, Rava says mitzvahs ain't tzrichas kavanah. Being mindful of the fact that you're doing a mitzvah is not a precondition for kiyum mitzvah. As long as he knows what he's doing, he's blowing, he's engaged in the physical aspect, that's enough. The masa mitzvah is considered a masa mitzvah by its own right. has a life of its own. And therefore, even without your mindfulness, it's considered a Maaseh Mitzvah. And our Mishnah says so. It says, no, there's no right from it. Perhaps Kavanah l'shem mitzvah is me'akiv. And this is exactly what the Mishnah says. HaMis'asek l'yotze, you know what that means? He's busy. He's busy producing music, using the shofar as an instrument. So he's preoccupied with a non-mitzvah activity. That's called mis'asek, and he's not yotze. So the Havamina was, mis'asek meant he wasn't even engaged in the physical aspect, and that's why he's not yotze. But the spiritual aspect is not me'akiv. Maskana is no. Mis'asek actually means just that. He's not mindful of the ruchni, of the mitzvah aspect, and that's why he's not yotze. Because perhaps mitzvah is tzrichas kavanah. Mindfulness is ma'akev by a mitzvah. Zok the Gemara, v'asher me'amin mis'asek lo yotze. Mishnah says if he's going to listen to this fellow who's a mis'asek, then he's not yotze. Why? Because that fellow himself is not being yotze. So how could you be yotze from him? Let's make a diuk. Aval asher me'amin amashmiel la'atzmai. My. Suppose a fellow is blowing the shofar l'shem mitzvah for himself. He has himself in mind. He doesn't even realize somebody's listening in. So he's properly blowing l'shem mitzvah, and somebody listens in. What's halacha yotze? It would seem from the mission that he's yotze. Dafka shemei min mis'asek is lo yotze, because the original fellow who's blowing is not engaged in the maaseh mitzvah. He's just being mis'asek. Apparently, if he's properly engaged and you're just listening in, you're also yotze, even though he's not even aware of you, of your standing there. Apparently, this is a kashan or bzera. The Amrle, Rabbi Zera l'shamer. Rabbi Zera tells his shamas, when you blow, have me in mind. Otherwise, I'm not going to be yotze just by listening in. You have to have me in mind. It would seem from our Mishnah that's not necessary. If a fellow is blowing properly and somebody's listening in, even if that fellow is not aware of his presence, it's okay. Says the Gemara, no. Maybe it is necessary. Dilma. I did the Tana Reisha Misasik, Tana Seifanami Misasik. We had a diak. Right? The Mishnah says, if you listen from a Misasik, you're not yotze. Because the Misasik is not engaged in a Maaseh Mitzvah. Apparently, if he is engaged in a Maaseh Mitzvah, just listening in without him being aware of your presence is enough. No, says the Gemara. Perhaps awareness is necessary. The reason why the Mishnah chose this wording, Hasheme'am and Masasek L'yotza, perhaps even if you're listening to a proper T'kiyah, not a Masasek, a proper T'kiyah, the only way you're going to be yotze is if he has you in mind. Otherwise, you're also not yotze. Perhaps that is the real halacha. Why did the Mishnah choose this type of case? Sheme'am and Masasek L'yotza, which sounds like it's only because the T'kiyah is deficient, but otherwise it's okay. It was just on account of the wording in the first part of that sentence. We spoke about a Masasek L'yotza, which was important. Mishnah continues, Masasek L'yotza. But truthfully, when you listen to a person blowing, even if he's not Masasek, he's properly engaged, and you're just listening in without him knowing that you're there, it doesn't work. He has to have you in mind. So how many T'kiyahs do we blow on Rosh HaShanna? Seder T'kiyahs Shalish. There are 3 sets of T'kiyahs. One for Malchis, one for Zechroines, one for Shofres. Shalish, Shalish, Shalish. Each set consists of 3 blows. So you're going to have a straight sound, a T'kiyah, followed by a broken sound, which is either going to be Shvorim or Trua, as we're going to see in the Gemara, and then completed by a 3rd straight sound. So it's going to be T'kiyah, a Trua, and a T'kiyah. For one set, repeated for the next set, and repeat it again 3rd time around. So in a Torah, you need a total of 9 blows, 9 T'kiyahs. How long are these T'kiyahs? Shir T'kiyah, how long is this straight sound? The uninterrupted sound, Kishalish Truos. It needs to be as long as 3 Truos, which the Gemara will explain for us. Shir Trua, how long is a Trua, that broken sound? Kishalish Bavis. It consists of 3 broken sounds. tu, tu, tu. That's how Rashi learns. So this is the our Shavarim, right? It's 3 parts. Taisus disagrees. He learns Kisholosh Yevavos means each Yevava is 3. 3 small sounds. So 3 Yevavos, a total of 9. So Rashi learns Kisholosh Yevavos means Yevava is a very short sound. Right? It's the trua, not the shvarim. A short sound, tu tu tu. That's what Rashi learns. So a trua means it consists of 3 tu tu tu. That's it. Tosfos learns a yevava is 2 to 2, so 3 yevavos is 3 times 2 to 2, that's 9. That's how we do today. A trua consists of 9 very short sounds. So according to the Mishnah, a trua consists of 3 short sounds, or according to Tosfos, 9 short sounds. The Gemara will expound on this. So bottom line is, you have 9 blows, right? 3 sets, each set consisting of tkiya, a trua, and a tkiya. Taka Rosh HaShanna. Suppose he did the first tkiya properly. Tkiya number 1 of set number 1. And then he did the trua, and he was up to the second tkiya of that first set, which was going to take him into the first tkiya of the second set. He decided to do it all in one extra long tkiya, to account for both tkiyas that he was meant to do them. Taka Rosh HaShanna. He did the first tkiya 1 of set 1 properly. Then he did trua. When it came to the second tkiya of that first set, he extended it as long as 2 tkiyas to get it all in. To get the second tkiya of the first set together with the first tkiya of the second set, all as one. And biyad al-achas only counts as one. We don't split a long sound into 2. Misha birach v'achach nesman lo shofar. Suppose he did all the brachas, the tefillos, malchis, rechanis, shofars without a shofar, and then a shofar became available to him. He does 3 sets of tkiyos. And the chiddush is, according to some Mefarshim, that he doesn't have to redo the brachas, even though ideally you meant to be tekiah with the brachas. In this case, just to do the tkiyos on their own. Just as a shliach tzibur is meant to daven all the brachas in Shemona Esrei, likewise, every individual should do that as well. No, shliach tzibur exempts everybody from the tefillah. So Mishnah spoke about the shear of a tkiya being kishalish truos, which was a cryptic statement. A tkiya amounts to 3 truos. What does that mean? In fact, we have a steer on that. About Tanya, Brisa says shear tkiya kitrua. A tkiya equals a trua. It's the same length. Length of a straight sound is the same shear as the trua, combination of small sounds. Now Mishnah speaks about the shear tkiya kishalish truos. Amar Abaye. It's really all one and the same. They have different references points. Tana Didan, our Tana, which says a shear tkiya is like 3 truos, kachashav tkiya or tkiyos, the kulu bavi. He was referring to all 3 tkiyas. The first tkiya of every set, the 3 sets. The first tkiya of set 1, of set 2, and set 3. So 3 tkiyas. Utruos the kulu bavi, and he matched it up with the truos found throughout all the 3 sets. So 3 sets of trua. And that makes sense. So the shear of tkiya, which really means the shear of all of those first tkiyas, a total of 3 tkiyas, equals the 3 truas that you're going to blow as well. Because remember, the tkiya is the same size as the trua. It's just that the trua is a broken sound, but in total it's the same length. That's all he was saying. For some reason he bunched up all those tkiyas together. He says, shear tkiya, meaning all the tkiyas of all those sets, the first tkiyas of all the 3 sets, meaning a total of 3 tkiyas, equals, in shear it equals the same length as the 3 truas which you do throughout those 3 sets. As opposed to Tana Bara, the second Tana, the Bryce that we just mentioned, who says shear tkiya is like 1 trua, kachashav chad bava v'sula. He was just focusing on 1 set. And therefore he said the shear of the tkiya first K of that set is like the true of that set. It's really no machlekes. It's just a question of semantics. Now, the Mishnah did say, what is the share of a trua? Kigimul yibavis. A trua consists of 3 broken sounds, 3 short sounds. Like our trua, tu. Tanya, the Brisa says, shir trua kishlesha shvarm. Different language. A trua consists of 3 broken sounds. Tu, not tu. Which one is it? In this case, there's no way out. There's certainly a machlekes. What is the word trua in the pasuk referring to? Is it a very short sound, tu, or is it a longish sound, tu? Our Tana holds yibavis, like a person's crying. The Brisa speaks about shvarim. He's speaking about somebody moaning, a longer sound. And it's based on the pasuk. T'chsiv yom teruah yelachem. Rosh HaShanah is a day of teruah. Umetargeminan. And the Targum interprets it as yom yibava yelachem, a day of yibava. What does that mean? Uksiv be'imei de Sisra. Sisra, his mother, when she was expecting him back and he wasn't returning, the pasuk says, "Ba'ada chaloi nishkefa." She was looking by the window, but to Yabev Sisra, and she was moaning. So Yabev and Yom Yibava are the same thing. A person's moaning, a person's groaning. Now it can take on 2 forms. Mar savar genuchi ganach. Now the Tana of the Brisa, who requires a bit of a longer sound, tu, he says we're speaking about expression of genuche, a person's groaning, a person's unwell, and he's groaning, he's moaning. Our Mishnah, that it's really short sounds, he learns that Yabev is referring to a person crying more intensely. In which case, it's a much shorter sound, says Rashi, off to the left. Mandam shvarim savar genuchi ganach. Ka'adam Haganech maliba kederach hacholim shemarichin b'gnichaysem. Person's unwell, he moans, a longer type of broken sound. That's how we get the shvarim of today, right? Whereas our Mishnah holds yulili yolol kadam abaycha mekainin kadas ktsarim smichel zalzeh. Person like crying. So it's shorter sounds. Expression of tshuva, of tefillah. That's the point of Tkiyas Shofar, to bring us closer to Hashem. And there are 2 ways of doing it. More of an intense expression or more of a slow moan. So, indeed, we do have a machlekes regarding the definition of trua. Is it a shvarim, what we call today shvarim, or is it yululu yolul, And in fact, we do both. That's why we alternate between shvarim and trua to cover all the shittas. Tanu Rabbanan, minayin shebeshayfer. The pasuk says yom teruah yelachem. On Rosh HaShanah, we consider it a yom teruah, a day of making sounds. With what? Minayin shebeshayfer. How do you know you meant to use a shayfer? Tamaloymar va'avarta shayfer teruah. This is a pasuk not by Rosh HaShanah. It's by Yom Kippur of the Yovel. So you meant to go ahead and blow a shayfer. Perhaps this only applies to Yovel. But Rosh HaShanah minayin. What about Rosh HaShanah? Tamaloymar b'chodesh hashvi. Pasuk says you meant to blow that shofar on Yom Kippur of the 7th month. Well, obviously, Shem Tamad Leimar b'chodesh hashvi. Why does the pasuk have to say month 7? We all know Yom Kippur is month 7. Why is the pasuk added? To include Rosh HaShanah. All the events taking place in Chodesh Hashvi have the same halacha. Sheyu called Truois Shal Chodesh Shvi Zekaz. All the blowings in this month, whether it's Rosh HaShanah or Yom Kippur, follow the same procedure. Use a shofar. Okay, so we know a shofar is to be used Rosh HaShanah and Yom Kippur. How do we know that you start with a straight sound? So first it's vavarta shofar, and then it's teruah. So shofar is referring to the straight sound, teruah the broken sound. How do we know that we end the set with a straight, uninterrupted sound? So we learn straight before the broken and straight after the broken. Perhaps this only applies to Yovel, because this pasuk that we just mentioned is Yovel. So it's shofar before the teruah and then shofar after the teruah. But Rosh HaShanah, what about Rosh HaShanah? The same as before. You meant to do this on the 7th month. Why does the pasuk have to say that? We already know Yom Kippur is on month 7. To teach us that all the truos on this day, on this month, should follow the same system. And just as by Yovel we learned that it's uninterrupted and then broken and interrupted. How do we know? So Rashi explains, because Va'avarta is a pshuta, just havoras koil echad, just a straight uninterrupted sound. Then we have trua, the broken sound. And then the pasuk says ta'viru shofar, which means again ta'viru, just a straight uninterrupted sound. So it's uninterrupted, interrupted, uninterrupted, using a shofar, of course. So just as it applies on Yom Kippur, it applies to Rosh HaShanna as well. Bez Hashem will continue the Brisa tomorrow. So what do we learn today? Mitzvah of shofar does not justify doing a shvus or leisa say. Regarding nashim blowing, we have machlekes. Regarding ktanim, if they're very young, we don't hold them back. If they got to the point of chinuch, we actually encourage it. Yovel and Rosh HaShanna are equated through a pasuk b'chodesh hashvi, and we learned that in both cases there are 3 sets of tkiyos. It starts with a tkiya over to a trua, which actually has a machlekes, whether it's the real short crying sounds, what we call the trua, or a bit longer, what we call the shvarim, and then followed by another straight uninterrupted tkiya to round off that set. And we have 3 sets of 3 tkiyas. All the best to you and much hatzlacha.